This is a very un-Tampa morning, I have to say. Well, great. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Tampa Bay's Congresswoman Kathy Castor. I'm thrilled to be joined by Jen McCoy, one of our, who's the head of the National Air Traffic Controllers here at Tampa TRACON, with Andrea Benninger, County Commissioner Harry Cohen, who sits on the Aviation Authority Board of Directors, and of course the best airport director in America, and maybe in across the globe, Joe Lopano. So we have exciting news about an important milestone on the replacement of this original Tampa Air Traffic Control Tower. It has served us well for over 50 years, the original tower, but it truly has reached the end of its useful life. It's outdated, and for about 10 years, it has been apparent to me that it is not up to standard that we would want for our air traffic controllers who are keeping the public, the flying public, safe day in and day out. This Tampa Terminal Radar Approach Control Tower is critical to the safety of all flights and the efficient operation of all air traffic control, not just here at Tampa Airport, but the Tampa TRACON has responsibility for the air operations and control for this part of Florida, and Jen will talk a little bit more about that. But these air traffic controllers, I want you to know, you may not see them as you come in and out of Tampa Airport. They are serving the FAA, but they are mostly serving the traveling public. And for a community that relies on visitors, international business, and the safe travel of all of our families, they are the ones with the eyes in the sky, keeping us safe every day. With thousands of flights coming in and out, not just of Tampa International Airport, but they also see this very complex traffic of MacDill Air Force Base, Albert Whitted in St. Pete, Peter O'Knight on Davis Island, Vandenberg. It's much broader than that, and this is the hub of their entire operation. So for many years, after visiting and watching some of the electrical problems, some of the leaks, seeing air traffic controllers get stuck in the airport and having to be rescued by Tampa Fire Rescue, it had been apparent for a number of years that we need a modern tower. Other airports across America have had their original towers replaced, and yet here at Tampa, it's been kind of a slog with the FAA. But I'm here to report today some very good news. You may have seen 2 days after the State of the Union address, President Biden flew here to Tampa. I was very honored to hitch a ride home that day with Congressman Darren Soto from Orlando as President Biden came here to speak at the University of Tampa. When he boarded Air Force One and buckled in with us, and we had a very nice chat, I had compiled the history of our friendly love notes in conversations with the FAA over many years. You see, just a couple of years ago, the Congress passed the bipartisan infrastructure law, where we devoted significant sums to repairing the nation's infrastructure. That includes air traffic control towers and airports across the country. I said, Mr. President, we've been talking with the FAA for many years, and I've compiled this list for you of information, but I want you to know, in Tampa, we have the best airport in the world. It's the pride of our community, but this air traffic control tower is not up to the standard that we expect for this community, for the traveling public, for the air traffic control. And President Biden, to his credit, he took my packet, and before we had landed here in Tampa, he said, Kathy, I'm going to take care of this. And sure enough, when President Biden released his budget last week, he included the funds to update and build a new air traffic control tower here at Tampa International Airport. So put a pin in this milestone, and I want to thank the bipartisan Tampa Bay congressional delegation. They've been supporters all the way along, and we're going to need them to make sure that this gets through the appropriations process and we're able to move forward in a most efficient way. So Jen, I'd like to introduce you, Jen, to come up and talk about air traffic controllers. Explain to folks what you do day in and day out and how important it is to have a modern air traffic control system to keep us all safe in the skies and here on the ground. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi. Hi, my name is Jen McCoy, and I'm an air traffic controller here at Tampa. I represent National Air Traffic Controllers Association as our facility representative here. I'm joined with Andrea Benninger. She's also a controller here at Tampa. I'm really appreciative to be here today. Thank you very much for focusing on this issue. We believe it is of the utmost importance. And we really wanted to thank Congresswoman Castor and her office for the long time and continued support, not only with the new air traffic control tower, but also in their concern about the working conditions of the air traffic controllers here. So a little bit about what we do. You see the tower cab back there, and the controllers, their primary task is to separate airplanes here on the ground at Tampa International Airport on the taxiways and runways. What a lot of people don't know, and Congresswoman alluded to, was we have a very robust radar room. We own surface to 12,000 feet in Tampa and surrounding areas. That includes down to Sarasota and Venice and over to Lakeland, Bartow, Winter Haven area. Also up to Brooksville and down the coastline, including St. Pete and Clearwater. There are several other satellite airports in that airspace and in that geographical area. And we're also proud to provide radar services to MacDill Air Force Base. So as you can imagine, it's very busy and very complex in there. And, we just believe that the controllers need to be in an environment that enables them to focus on the job at hand. And unfortunately, with this tower at 50 years old, it's deteriorated to the point where it's providing, there's some distractions from time to time with the stuff that happens. In the last few years, probably 5-10 years, we've had all sorts of issues with plumbing, sewage, fumes, electrical, elevator outages, you name it, we've had it. And the controllers, they continue to work, and they work diligently through these things. But at some point, it becomes demoralizing. You come into work every day, and you're hit with a sewage smell, that all too familiar fumey smell, and you're like, oh, another day at Tampa, fun. Or, you're hot and sweaty because you've had to walk 20 flights of stairs to get into that tower cab, and your working position, and your knees ache, and it's not great. We've had issues with fumes in the radar room, and I can tell you as a controller, you work through it, and you're working these airplanes, and your throat kind of tickles, and you're thinking, is this even safe? Is it something that I should be doing? And I just don't believe that the controllers should have to work in those conditions. And I believe that their concerns should be separating air traffic, not thinking about, the headache from the fumes in the building. So, just to be clear, though, our Tampa air traffic controllers are absolute professionals, and they're completely dedicated to the safety of the flying public. Even with those conditions, we work to the highest level, and that's not going to change. But the traffic here in Tampa is growing, the air traffic is growing, and with that, our building continues to degrade. And I think we can all agree that controllers should be in the most modern facilities with the most up-to-date equipment. So I'm very appreciative to be here. I'm hopeful that we're going to get a new tower here, or an upgrade at Tampa, and I'm just thankful that we're focusing on this issue today.
Do you want to say something?
I'm good, thank you.
Good?
Yes.
All right, now welcome the best airport director in America, Joe Lopano.
Thank you. That's very kind. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. This is a great day in Tampa Bay. I've never been on Air Force One, but I can imagine that when Kathy Castor sits down with the president and she's got something on her mind, they had to put the fasten seatbelt sign on, and she wasn't leaving until she got that packet picked up by President Biden. So I congratulate you for your efforts she's relentless. I mean, we've been at this since 2011 when I got here, and Kathy knew that this is the one issue that we really need help on in Washington, and she took it. She ran with it every step of the way. So I thank you, Kathy. You did a great job for us. I agree with the controllers. You got to give them better working conditions, and this is a start. This is what we have to do, and we believe that this airport is extremely safe, and our controllers work every day looking out for the traveling public, and they deserve to have the best facilities in the country. This is America's favorite airport, and I want us to build America's favorite control tower. Thank you all very much.
Great. All right, we're happy to take any questions. We've got to press the FAA to move quickly. You can tell it will take. It's a complex situation to replace an air traffic control tower. I think rather than haste and speed, although we want them to work quickly, I think it will be very important that safety is paramount throughout the replacement process.
As a controller, a long-time controller, I've been a controller for well over 20 years. I am never concerned about the safety of the flying public. The controllers, this group of people, they will work through anything to keep you safe.
Awesome.
Is there a dollar amount associated?
There is. We'll give you the exact number in the budget. But remember, this is from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, where the Congress devoted billions of dollars to upgrading America's airport and air traffic control towers. It was stuck in this bureaucratic back and forth for many, many years, and part of the reason was because the FAA did not have the funds devoted to it to replace towers. This isn't the only tower across America that needs replacing, but it's the most important to me. It's the most important to the folks around here, and because there have been air traffic controllers stuck in elevators because they've had electrical and sewage problems, it just cannot wait any longer. We cannot handle any more kind of bureaucratic back and forth, and that's why I so appreciate President Biden listening and understanding the urgent need to get this going. No more back and forth. Let's get it going. Now it's in the budget. We'll give you all of those numbers and continue to press the FAA to work swiftly with the safety of the public paramount in all cases.
Question maybe for Mr. Lopano. What's it been like having this juxtaposition between the modernization and growing airport, but also having this tower kind of looming in the background being as old as it is?
Yeah, it's interesting because our first phase of our master plan was $1 billion, and we brought it in on time and on budget, and we're continuing to modernize. And this is, although it's not our facility, it's a federal facility, we knew that this needed to be replaced, and that's where Congresswoman Castor came in, and she's been working on this for many years. And so we feel like with this approval or with this budget, we got the last piece together. So that's a very good question. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody. Let's go get more.